So I want to spend some time to kind of unpack how can a student get an internship. And in this podcast, I'm going to talk about how can a student find a job on campus. And I'll have another podcast that kind of focuses on how can a student find a job off campus. So on campus, in my opinion, there are a few ways, and this may vary from your college or university, from institution to institution. But where I work, students have a couple of ways to find jobs on campus. So one is through going on the university's student job portal. Often there's on these kind of portals, there's an option for students to upload their resume, and they don't have to apply to a particular posting if they don't find something suitable, but there's often an option for them to post a resume so that when instructors in the future kind of post job postings, they can kind of go through this pool of students who already have uploaded their resume, and they can see if there's any potential matches. So that's one option. And the second option is obviously to go to these job portals and to see what on campus is hiring, and if there's anything interesting for the student. A third option is if you're coming from a lower income background, then there might be options on campus for students to get jobs, but they're intended for students of a particular family income threshold and below. At my university, we call this work study. You would have to go through a process. Normally, there's, I think, 2 deadlines in the year, and students will have to apply, and the university will check that you meet that threshold, and then you'll get opportunities in a separate job posting pool, so you can kind of double down on the amount of opportunities you have. Another option that you might have is to work with one of your professors. So there's a couple of ways to do this. So oftentimes professors are going to be conducting research, so they'll have different grants, and they'll be looking for different research assistants or assistants in general to help with various tasks within the projects. A lot of times university professors might kind of try to hold those positions for graduate students, but if you're very interested in a particular professor's research, or you're very particular in a topic, go talk to your professors. Go tell them that you're interested. They may or may not pay you, but it's still a good working experience in general, in my opinion. And it's always a good thing to kind of build those connections with your professors regardless, especially if some of you are thinking of going to graduate school. It is a good way to kind of build those connections so that your reference letter is there when you need it. Have a chat with them to see what opportunities they have for potential students, and if they don't have any, because your professors do have their own networks, they might tell you that another prof across the hallway is looking for someone and might refer you to them. So that's another possibility. And then the last possibility that I'm thinking of is that go look at clubs or student councils. Oftentimes, these positions, although they're a form of extracurriculars, I do think these are also good ways for you to kind of gain experience and to hone your skills, whether it be you joining an investment club and you have a full portfolio of investments to look over, and you have to lead a bunch of different analysts in your sector portfolio, or you are the vice president communications of a student council or a residence council, and you have to do a lot of different marketing mediums. I think these are all great examples and skills and side projects that you can kind of put on your resume, and it's definitely something you can speak to when you have interviews. Experience doesn't have to be paid. In my perspective and in my opinion, I don't think I've ever been to an interview, or I've seen in any interviews where they ask you whether this experience is paid or not. What they do care about is what you did in that position. So don't look at experience or internships based on money value. Of course, there will be students and there will be situations where you do need money for living expenses. But in general, if finance is not an issue, don't look at the dollar sign. Look at what the experience can bring you and what you can learn, and what value you can extract out of it. I think if you don't have any financial problems and you can just fully focus on the gaining the most valuable experience as possible, this will be very very beneficial to you.